My boss took credit for my work. I built a spreadsheet that quietly destroyed his career. Let me tell you how I weaponized a spreadsheet and took down the most smug, condescending manager I've ever worked under. I work as a senior data analyst in a corporate consulting firm. Big clients. High stakes. Everything runs on KPIs and quarterly dashboards. Numbers are gospel. My boss, Greg, was the kind of guy who called himself a visionary, but couldn't write a basic Excel formula without Googling it. His greatest skill? Taking credit for other people's work, mainly mine. I built a reporting system that tracks sales performance, resource utilization, client churn, and projected quarterly revenue using Power Query, pivot tables, and slicers. It was sleek. Accurate. Efficient. Greg slapped his name on it during the client presentation. The CEO called it revolutionary. Greg got a bonus and a title bump. I got a Starbucks gift card. That's when I knew I needed to act. But I didn't want to yell or quit or go full HR, no. I wanted him to implode. Quietly. Elegantly. By his own incompetence. So I got to work on version 2, a new system Greg insisted I build, one he wanted to present to executives this time. Make it even sexier, he said. Like financial porn. So I did. The sheet I built looked beautiful on the surface. A dashboard with drop-down filters for department, region, product line. KPI summaries updated in real time. Charts, graphs, variance trackers, all pulling from one hidden, centralized data source. But the devil was in the formulas. Instead of referencing clean source tables, I created indirect links through Power Query that filtered slightly incorrect data. Example. Sales from Q1 2023 pulled from Q4 2022's report, with only a 5% discrepancy. Subtle. Just enough to skew trends. I used nested IFs and lookups that relied on auxiliary sheets buried 10 tabs deep, with innocent names like _backup2 and _archived. If you deleted them, the dashboard broke. If you kept them, the errors lived on. Then, I set up circular references masked by auto-calculations, which would randomly spike churn rates for low-priority clients, unless a very specific macro was run weekly to clean it. A macro, of course, Greg had no idea existed. It was all wrapped in a locked workbook. I gave Greg a protected version that let him click buttons but not see behind the curtain. He loved it. It's like a Ferrari in Excel form, he told me. And then he drove it straight into a wall. Over the next 2 months, the sheet did exactly what I designed it to do, wrought his reputation from the inside out. Client satisfaction scores started dropping. Greg panicked and began reallocating resources, pulling staff off of strong accounts to fix imaginary problems. One region showed a 23% spike in customer churn. Greg blamed the regional manager and had her reassigned. She'd been outperforming every other team that quarter. He submitted wildly inaccurate revenue projections to the CFO. And when the numbers didn't add up, he doubled down, saying things like, "My data guy confirms it. It's solid." Spoiler, I was the data guy. And I was saying nothing. Executives started asking questions. Greg got defensive. Sweaty. Paranoid. He started calling me into his office every other day with printouts asking why the Q3 margin graphs felt off. "I don't know, Greg," I'd say, frowning at the sheet. "Maybe there's something wrong in the source tables. Did you move anything?" Of course, he had. He'd started trying to tweak the sheet himself to make it look better, not knowing every adjustment made the data worse. Then came the presentation. Greg had been scheduled to present the new dashboard to the executive board, a showcase of how our department had optimized revenue tracking. He wore his best blazer. Had a slideshow ready. Walked in like he owned the place. I watched from the back row. 15 minutes in, the CFO frowned. "These retention rates, are you telling me we lost 12% of enterprise clients in Q2? Greg blinked. "Yes, that's what the numbers say." The CEO leaned forward. "Because that's not what our CRM says." Greg stammered. "Well, the model," the CTO interrupted. "Why are your regional totals not matching the global aggregates?" Greg was sweating. Flipping through tabs. Clicking filters. Nothing made sense anymore. Finally, the CFO turned to me. "You built this, right?" Greg jumped in. "We built it together." I looked at her and said, "No, he built this version. I submitted my original audit-friendly dashboard 3 months ago. I'd recommend using that one." She raised an eyebrow. "Send it to me after this." Greg didn't say another word for the rest of the meeting. Later that week, I got called into a closed-door session with the CFO, CTO, and legal. I laid everything out, the tampered data, the protective layers, the lack of version control. "I built a working model," I said. But Greg insisted on presenting his version. "His version?" the CTO asked. I nodded. He had me walk him through the mechanics. Then locked me out of the final draft and made changes. They asked if I could prove it. I opened up the internal audit trail I'd kept separately on OneDrive, showing datestamp backups, original formulas, and metadata logs. They had all they needed. Greg was let go quietly a few days later. The official email said he resigned to pursue new opportunities. The unofficial story. He tried to manipulate an Excel model he didn't understand, and got crushed under the weight of his own stupidity. Now I run the analytics division. Sometimes, when I open a new spreadsheet, I name the file greg_final_v3.xlsx just for fun. Because in this office, Excel is power. And revenge. Revenge is best served with pivot tables and password protection. You should always give credit to the people who earned it. It not only promotes trust, but also improves performance.